find it ironic that this movie is called Trapped in Paradise. Why is it ironic? Because that is the feeling that I had while watching this movie. I felt like I was trapped. I was watching this movie on Tubi. It's a free service with ads. And when the ads popped up, I actually thanked God for it because it gave me a break from just the severe mediocrity that was Trapped in Paradise. Now, I'm sure you're saying to yourselves, what is this movie, Ryan? Well, it was directed by George Gallo, who directed a movie called Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro. This is no schlub. And the movie starred Nicolas Cage, John Lovitz, and Dana Carvey. They play three brothers, even though they look nothing alike, but let's just run with it. Who are criminals? Well, one of them, being Nick Cage, is trying to go straight, while the others have been released from prison on parole because the prison has gotten too crowded. Again, let's just go with it. And the three, with some convincing to Cage's part, end up robbing a bank in Paradise, Pennsylvania, which happens to have $275,000. However, on their way out of town, they crash their car on Christmas Eve, and they end up spending the Christmas Eve holiday in the home of the bank president. Now, to be fair, this premise is actually rather interesting. A bunch of criminals end up robbing a place, something bad happens, and then they end up in the place where the person who runs the place that they robbed ends up staying. Like that could be something really fun. But this movie is the opposite of fun. It really commits the ultimate sin of any comedy. It's not funny. I can neither confirm nor deny this fact. I researched it. I tried to find something confirming this, but I could not find anything definite, so please take this with a pinch of salt. Allegedly, the movie's director, George Gallo, ended up walking off the set a couple times because he just thought that this movie was just piss poor and the production was piss poor, so out of shame, he just left. And Nicolas Cage, because he was the best actor of the bunch, basically stepped in and directed a bunch of the scenes by himself. Again, take this with a grain of salt, neither confirmed nor denied, but considering the finished product, it makes too much sense. Nicolas Cage is the best part of this movie by a lot. He doesn't go full Cage, though some of the deranged Nick Cage bubbles up to the surface, and it is wonderful to see. But he can only do so much. He is given nothing to work with. And again, the interesting thing of one criminal brother goes straight, while the other two are trying to drag him back into the abyss, could have been interesting. They did something similar to this in one of my favorite movies of all time, Logan Lucky. But it just falls flat on its face. John Lovitz is just there. He's fine. And then there's Dana Carvey. I had to look up who this individual was because he has a voice in this movie that is so freaking annoying that I just said to myself, this is like nails on a chalkboard. Come to find out, he's Pistachio Disguisey from Masters in Disguise. Play the clip.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
There's a movie that makes me cringe even when I'm sitting here thinking about it.
I got full-on Vietnam flashbacks when I saw this guy on my screen for the first time. And to best describe this voice, it's like his nuts are in a clamp. And he just, you really talks like this. Like, look at these other guys and I'm on parole. I'm like, what is this voice? Why is he doing this?
Whose brain works this way? Whose brain operates in this fashion?
I am aware that Dana Carvey has his fans. He was Garth in both the Wayne's World movies. I am fully aware that this guy can be funny, but Great Caesar's ghost, this man can be so annoying at times. Again, just see all of Masters of Disguise if you want any proof of that. These three just don't work together. They're supposed to be brothers. I mean, just the lie detector test determined that's a lie. Like, I was watching a review of this movie from Hats Off Entertainment. It's a really good YouTube channel talking about this movie, and the narrator pitched the idea of, instead of them being brothers, being childhood friends. That would honestly make things a whole lot better. But no, they are supposed to be brothers, and it doesn't work. Richard Jenkins is also in this movie, being wasted. Not like drunk or anything, but just his talent is just criminally wasted. And honestly, this might sound like a heavy claim, but I'm going to say it. This is probably the worst movie I'm going to cover all month. And I know that I've covered some really weird movies this month, but at least with like Babes in Toyland or say A Christmas Memory, the Truman Capote one. Those were so bizarre that I couldn't look away from them. This movie was just plain forgettable. And again, it's just not funny. Like it's not even funny ironically. It just felt like a slog, and the movie's an hour 45. Just avoid at all costs.